Good day, everybody. I wanted to take a little bit of time to go over this new spreadsheet that I had just built. It's the historical stock prices and comparisons. I did just start out with the underline and the Yieldmax. However, it was also requested that I do KURV, so I've also added KURV to this as well. This first tab is just the Yieldmax prices in general, and you can see here, and I'm doing this on my iPad, so because I'm in the middle of traveling. Otherwise, I would normally do my videos on a computer, so please bear with me here. So for this tab, for these just the regular price tabs, the color format that I have on these is just to help see the pricing better by looking at the colors versus having to look at each individual price, right? Because I started this year. Of course, I could go back and do 2023 if anybody wanted. But starting at the beginning of the year here, and the color format for this is the ticker for the entire year. So if you look at column B, which is the AIYY ticker, you can see the higher amounts at the beginning are green, which is around 1998. And then you can see the darker red amounts around January 17th and the 18th at the lower 16s. And so basically it's taken that color code scale of the dark green and the dark red, and then everything in between is just being color shaded based off of the prices. And so it's going to do that throughout this entire workbook. That type of shading, it just may be seen in different ways. So like I said, on this one, we're looking at that singular ticker and just comparing that ticker's prices. But when we get over to the comparison, I have multiple tabs that will compare days, years, tickers, different things. So, but you can see here where a lot of these that started out green at the beginning of the year are now in the red. And then those that started out more in the red have come down to be more in the green. Except for maybe, let's say, looking at Apley, it looks like it started about 1889. It went red a little bit. Now it's come back green. Sort of glancing the rest of these, I don't see any of the other ones that started green and ended green for the month of January, at least where we're at as of today. It looks like the only one that really started red, really red compared to its other days, was NVIDIA. It started really red and now it's gone green, which is like $2.30. It's gone up. So anyway, I thought the color codes are pretty cool, and it's an easy visual to see. Again, you can see over here on Coney how it was really green and now it's really red. And then over here on the side, the right side, this is the changes itself. And you can see one of the worst days, it looks like, for most of them was January 5th. Most of their changes were more red that day. But, yeah, and then I have the percentage change on a different tab. Sorry, I don't have great internet connection probably this second because I am sitting outside in my car and connecting internet with my phone. Either that or I accidentally deleted something. No, it's just because of my internet connection. So then this was the change spreadsheet, and the only reason I had this on a separate tab, and I say change, I mean change in percentage, the other one was changes in cents, is because when I started creating this, I started it on my iPad, and it wouldn't let me go over to the side, and I'm not a big Google Sheets person. I'm more of an Excel, but it wouldn't let me go over to the right anymore. So I just ended up making a new tab. Of course, since then, I've gone bigger and better and got on the computer, but I didn't want to really move things around. So that's the only reason it's on a second tab. But here I have these in whole percentages. On most of the other ones, I have decimals on them. But, so you can see here again, we were talking about that January 5th day, that percentage down there. We had some negative 11s on like Coney and Murney and Squee there, SQI, negative 9%. We even had AIYY up here at negative 8%. But then the rest of the stuff sort of scattered everywhere throughout the spreadsheet there. But this gives us the percentage changes, which I use on another tab later. Sorry, again, this is just my internet connection, because it's not, all this data is run off the internet and all these formulas and stuff, so if you don't have internet, it doesn't work very well. But so let's go over to, we'll just click on the underlying price. So same thing here. These are the underlying tickers. And all of these are in alphabetical order. So based on the color codes, I thought about maybe not combining them, but grouping them by sectors. That way you can sort of see if it was like one sector or something specifically going up or down, versus it being something specific to that company for a day. But right now they're just all in alphabetical order. But these color codes are probably going to be somewhat similar to the Yieldmax and the KURV, because most of the times, right, they're going up and down with it. So again, here you see those like coin here, how high it started at the beginning of the year, and then how low it's gotten since it's dropped, $30-ish there. And then again over here, this is the dollar amount change for those. And then I have a tab here. Again, I apologize for my internet connection here on those few days that you can't see. But this one right here is just the percentage changes. You can look at these. Looks like the 16th there was quite a few percentage changes down. AIYY had several days there, -4% down. Or I'm sorry, that's actually AI, sorry, not the, this is the underlying. And then, of course, I've created tabs for the KURV, and I've actually created these. These would all match the Yieldmaxes in case they come up with them later. I just had them hidden. It just would make it easier for me to update and add those later without having to create a bunch of new things. But it looks like here most everybody started red at the beginning of the year, and have been going green except for the TSLP for this one. And then you can just see both of these, there's that dollar change there. And then we'll go over here to the percentage change. TSLP, it dropped the full 12% there on that 25th. But you can see here, some of these days better than others there on the percentages. But now all these back here is just to be able to do the comparisons. My first 4 tabs here, these were the original ones that I had created with just the Yieldmax and the underlying, but then I was requested to add the KURV. So I have done that. And you can see the January 26th data is trying to load there, but sorry about that. I should have waited to do this at home next week, but I thought I'd go ahead and get something out there. But we'll start with this one for the Yieldmax and the KURV here. This color format is the 2 to 3 tickers. You know, it's 3 tickers if it has a KURV. If not, if it's just Yieldmax and underlying, then there's 2. But this is comparing that group for the day. So let's just go here for an example of Google here. So you can see the particular day, like on January 3rd there, you see the worst to the best performer, and of course the yellow one is the one that's in between when we have these 3 tickers right here. And you can see here, if you're just looking at the Yieldmax and KURV, the KURV most of the time is sort of like in the middle. It's not the best and it's not the worst. It's just in the middle. And I haven't really counted these, but it looks like on the GUI, the Yieldmax Google, it looks like it's more red, maybe by a couple, than the actual underlying. Of course, now we're just talking about the number of colored sales and days, not the actual accumulation amounts of the percentages, which I am thinking about changing that and putting that on here as well. But this is so you could do a comparison between the three here and the changes percentage wise. And so I do that on these 4 different ones. They're just different. Again, going back here, you can see this is specific to those 2 or 3 tickers for that day. Here, this is for the 2 or 3 tickers for the entire year. So you can see like some of the worst performing ones on January 3rd was the NVIDIA, ARC, and PayPal for the year, with the exception of Tesla earnings day over there, compared to the rest of them. But basically, the way this does, let's just use AI and AIYY there. So it's taking those 2 tickers and it's looking out the entire year, and then it's color coding those. So you can see on January 5th, that negative 8.17 has been the worst, so that's why it's the reddest. And the best was on January 22nd for the AI, and that's why it's the greenest. And it's going to do it for each group of those. And then on the next tab for the all day one here, this one's for all tickers for that specific day. So you can look on January 3rd and go straight across. And the one that is the darkest red, which are between PayPal and SQI, those there were the worst for the day, worst performers. And then it looks like Disney was like the best at a positive 1 and 1.22. And then the next one does the same thing, but it's for the entire year for all tickers. So you can see that Netflix on January 24th has been the best, probably their earnings day for the year. And then the worst, of course, has been Tesla. So it's just to give you a quick overview of this spreadsheet. I may make a few changes, and then I can redo this when I'm not in such a hurry to get through this and I have better internet connection and we'll have more data. But y'all just let me know what you think, or some additional things you would like to add, or any other comparisons, and I can update this. And then I plan to share a workbook I've been creating for all the Yieldmaxes with the holdings, the strike prices, and all their intraday trades and everything like that. So let me know about if y'all want to see that, or if you want to see specific Yieldmax or whatever more in depth versus just the overall of all of them. Just let me know. Thank you. Y'all have a good day. Bye.